the LTN Hour. Let's talk NASCAR with your host, Todd Bailing, co-hosts Brian Schmidt, PJ Noodleman, and producer Dangerous Dan Margetta. Call the show anytime at 414-421-7901. And now, the creator and host of the fastest hour in radio, Todd Bailing.
Yeah, I wish I could be as enthused as it sounds like I am in that introduction. Hello, everybody. Todd Bailing in beautiful Linden Station, Wisconsin. We're all licking our wounds this week. We can't believe it. It's still fresh that Kyle Busch died 3 days ago. And I don't want to use the words fell over dead, but it was damn near close to that. And talk about a surprise to everybody. If you don't believe it can happen to anyone, then you weren't paying attention. 41 years old and 19 days. My three partners are all ready and willing to join us, starting with Brian Schmidt over in Utzberg, Wisconsin. Hi, Brian.
Morning. Yep. Still shocked. Still can't really believe it.
It's crazy, isn't it? PJ Noodleman over on our left coast, right smack dab on the Mississippi River, damn near. Hi.
Hey there. Pretty heavy news, and it's still so hard for everybody to wrap their heads around it. And it's really put the story is front and center. So many people who are not even in the racing world are drawn into it to see it because it's just so shocking.
Yeah, the lead story in many of the news. Dan Margetta, he's from St. Francis. He spent last night in Jefferson, but he's not even there now.
No, I'm in Slinger, actually, getting ready for Slinger Speedway tonight. Yeah, that's totally unbelievable. You know, nothing you saw coming, and I'm not sure we still can, the impact of it is really going to be felt. It's not going to be known until a lot longer from now. I mean, he's had such a big impact on the sport. Today should be a race. It's a motor racing holiday, right? I mean, it's kind of, we used to be Monaco, Indy, and Charlotte, and then Slinger for out here. Monaco's gone. We're watching the trucks now. I guess that's going to take Monaco's place this year because it's been a damper all weekend. I mean, weather-wise, too. It looks like even at Charlotte, they haven't got much in. So it's just a weird Memorial Day weekend right now.
Even the sky is crying about Kyle.
It has been at both. I mean, it's been raining cats and dogs at Charlotte. Plus, there's rain in the forecast for Indianapolis today, a 70% chance for the Indy 500, 90% for Charlotte yet, believe it or not. The trucks, we're not going to try to avoid it here. If you're a fan of the NASCAR Truck Series, the race is being shown right now. We're all watching it as we're talking. PJ has been, well, she was monitoring the worst luck story, I swear to God. His season on a chart looks a little bit like
the Charlie
Donald
Brown
Trump's signature.
It looks like
Charlie
Brown's
shirt.
shirt.
Charlie Brown's shirt.
Yeah. Ty Majeski having a rough go, man.
Yeah. What was it that put him out after 20 laps?
It was a fuel pump. And then it turned out that after they replaced the fuel pump, it went dead again. So it had to have been a fuse issue. Cole Butcher, teammate, had same problems as well. So it's something with the fuse, something with the wiring. I don't know if all the wet weather played a factor in all of that because sometimes you get moisture in the electronics that buggers it all up. So I don't know.
The official diagnosis that was released by the family was a severe pneumonia that progressed into sepsis. Sepsis, as we all, if you didn't know what it was before, it can kill you. You got to be careful with that stuff.
Well, it basically, with pneumonia, when you get a lung infection, it triggers this extreme immune response. And then that infection, the body's inflammatory chemicals basically start entering the bloodstream, and that can cause widespread tissue damage, organ failure, and septic shock. And that is what took Kyle Busch.
And quickly, I mean, the word came across, Kyle Busch is ill and he's not going to race this week. I thought, wow. He must really be sick for them to announce it that quickly. We didn't even know he had anything wrong with him. They already said it's going to be Austin Hill driving the 8 car this week, and I thought, wow, imagine how sick a guy must be for that to happen. And it sure didn't seem like it took much longer than that. And my buddy Al Schill calls me, says, hey, did you hear about Kyle Busch? I said, yeah, he's not going to race. I wonder what's wrong with him. He says he died. No, what, you see that on the internet? You can't believe everything you see on the internet. No, it came from flow. Really? I better check on this. And I'll be damned, but it says Kyle Busch passed away. Are you kidding me? This just it doesn't register for anybody to be here 1 minute and basically gone the next, and that's what it was. The first thing I thought of was heart. What did you guys think?
Well, I wasn't sure, and it was at first I had to make sure it was legit because we see a lot of things online sometimes that comes through, but it came from NASCAR. That's where I saw it, and just kind of unbelievable. And then you try to figure out how or why, and you still don't know until it comes out.
You wouldn't say it right away. Oh, family, I know. I understand.
Right, so you kind of wonder what was going on. And like Brian, you were at a soccer game, right, when you found out?
Yeah, I was working our soccer game on Thursday, like it's 4:30, and Dan sent the text to our group chat, and I'm reading it, and my phone starts blowing up, and I'm like, well, what the heck? I mean, our team scored a goal, and I didn't even see that. And that's my job. I'm supposed to announce the goal. My athletic director comes up into the booth. He's like, what the hell's going on in here? You missed that goal. I said, they're saying Kyle Busch died. He's like, what? And this guy doesn't know anything about racing. He's not a racing guy at all. He goes, you got to be kidding me. So he starts looking at it. The officials are waving at us to stop the clock for something. Totally paying. He's like, oh, my God, what's going on, So, I mean, it's his status in the world is like everybody knows who that is. And NASCAR drivers, there aren't many that everybody knows. But this one is someone that everybody knew, which is what makes it so. I mean, I compare it to probably Senior dying. Only he died in front of us watching him race. This is not a racing incident, which makes it even more
Isn't that
difficult.
Just amazing how this has happened again to Richard Childress? Earnhardt was driving the number 3 car when he died. They changed the number to 29 for Kevin Harvick. Here, Kyle Busch had been driving the number 8 car. They have changed the number permanently to number 33 now. They reserved number 8 for the future, and Richard Childress actually said they're saving it for when Brexton makes it to NASCAR. That's a lot to say for a kid who's just lost his mentor. I certainly hope, and there's a lot of folks that have already said, whatever that kid needs, I'm there for him. That's good. I certainly hope Uncle Kurt takes the lead on this. Kurt doesn't have any kids of his own, and I think that would be a perfect situation. Brexton is 11 years old, and look at what he has to. Didn't you think that Kyle Busch was a totally different human being
after having kids?
Oh, absolutely.
100%.
Oh,
yep.
My God.
And I mean, as far as I'm concerned, I still, Kyle is number 18 always in my mind. That'll be, he won his championships with 18. I don't know for sure, but I think some of Brexton's cars might have been numbered 18 too. I mean, the 8, I don't know, the 8 still is tied to Dale Earnhardt Jr. in my mind, always probably will be. And the 18 is Kyle's number. But I mean, just to think, it's just so sad because if you look at the powerful individuals that are still with us in the sport of racing, Kevin Harvick, Dale Earnhardt Jr., I'd put Kyle Busch as the 3 main guys that are a part of NASCAR, but still have short track stuff in their mind and are powerful people in there. And going forward, you just thought to yourself, all right, once Kyle retires, he'd be another big, powerful figure in the short track world. And it's just so sad to think that we're not going to be able to see that. We're not going to see what he's going to do in the future once he's done racing.
It's like we lost one of the legs on the tripod for short track racing.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah, very well put. He was going to race until the kid was eligible to start racing himself. And by the way, Brexton was using number 18. And, like I mentioned, Childress said he's not going to use the number 8. If you'll notice, ever since Kyle Busch got out of the Gibbs car, 18 was not used there. Is that a strange coincidence or what? There's a lot more to discuss and to kick around here on this show where none of us are feeling particularly good. We'll be back.
If speed is your love language, you need to be at Moto America Superbikes and Vintage Moto Fest, May 29th through the 31st. The fastest riders in the country, insane corner-to-corner battles, plus a full festival, live music, stunt shows, and a massive vintage bike scene. It's basically summer's first big party with Superbikes, Moto America and Vintage Moto Fest, May 29th through the 31st. Get tickets at roadamerica.com. Feel the rush.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years, PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stonework, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Let us not forget on this crappy set of circumstances we're dealing with today that this weekend is all about the people who volunteered to go and fight for the United States of America and lost their lives in that pursuit. This is it's more important than any damn race or any damn racer. Let's keep it in mind. That's what Memorial Day is about. And I didn't realize it, but every Memorial Day at 3:00 is when you're supposed to pause and give homage to those who have passed away. So think about that tomorrow at 3:00. Kyle Busch had 200. Think about this: 234 wins in NASCAR. He had 63 Cup victories, ranking him 9th. 102 Busch/Xfinity/Norp wins, and 69 truck wins, the last of which was 9 days ago. It's just crazy. Also, he won the Slinger Nationals. I can't remember what year it was. Dan, do you?
I think it was 2011. He was there in
11?
2010. He came close, and he had a flat tire towards the end. In 2011, he won it. Then he was there in 22. And that's when Matt got in it with the lap car, and they to cause a light caution and let him close up, and he beat him, and he got mad, and that's when he crashed the gate in 2012.
He didn't hang around for autographs and all that. He was pissed off. He got into his rented Toyota and got to the back gate, which had been closed, and it just busted through it. Nah.
And think about his ties to Wisconsin. He showed up here the first year the Cup Series was at Road America, hopped in a Xfinity car back then, won that race. Milwaukee Mile ran a couple super late model races there, won 2 of them. Showed up at Kaukauna for the Dixieland a couple years ago, or it's probably about 5-6 years ago, won that race, but then was later DQ'd because of weight. But I mean, where he showed up in the state of Wisconsin, he won.
Yeah, he actually won in 2007 at Kaukauna. It was the first super late model win for Kyle Busch Motorsports. And that's when it really started. In 2008 is when he won at the mile. It was another Kenseth program. And then in 2013 was the Tuesday night race, super late model race he won. But that was him. You know, when somebody asked, or asking questions, I think on NASCAR radio this week, is like, what do you think his legacy is? And his legacy is he was Kyle Busch. He's KFB. He was Kyle Busch. I don't know how else to describe it.
Rowdy was a perfect name for him, wasn't it?
Right. And yeah, he had an attitude. And I thought it was kind of funny when I saw him get mad at things. He liked to race that hard. And a lot of times very few times I've had to actually talk to him. He was okay. And a couple of times, I remember one time at that Tuesday night race that he won, I worked for the radio broadcast, and he wanted everybody to go and all the drivers to do a recording for the starting lineup to say, I'm Kyle Busch, driver number 51 from Las Vegas, Nevada, blah, blah, blah. So they gave me a recorder to do that. And everybody most of them pretty quick. I hadn't gotten Kyle Busch's yet. And he was standing by his car, and there's a bunch of media people there. And they're all afraid to talk to him. Like, 'cause they all heard it, he's not a nice guy. He's going to yell at you. And they're all just kind of standing around like they wanted to talk to him. They didn't. And I just stood there, and he kind of like looked up, and he kind of was like, what? Come over here. And I walked over there. I was like, I got to do this thing for this radio deal. His starting lineup. I know it's kind of goofy, but could you do it? And he's like, yeah, sure. He did it. And I walked away, and everybody looked at me like, oh my God, you talked to him, and he actually was nice to you. But I thought he was, if you were a racer and if he knew you were kind of a racer, I thought he was cool with you. And sometimes I think if the dumb questions in press conferences, yeah, he called them out. And I sat in plenty of press conferences, didn't ask a question, because sometimes people think that you have to ask a question to somehow belong there. And sometimes those questions don't need asked because they're kind of dumb. And I thought he'd call them out, and I was okay with all that stuff.
The other drivers have been weighing in all week long, which you probably, can imagine, but two of them stuck out and that I actually wrote down and remember. Kyle Larson said he was the bar we measured ourselves against. How about that? Talk about someone that makes you better. And the other one was from Brad Keselowski. Boy, they were some fierce rivals. Kyle Busch would say, I don't like him. Well, that's kind of to the point, isn't it? Brad Keselowski said, I feel like the coyote with no more roadrunner to chase. Well, isn't that perfect right there? There were drivers who owe much of their careers to Kyle Busch. He was the Toyota pipeline when he was driving for KBM, for Joe Gibbs. The KBM team produced the following drivers who are regulars on the system right now: Eric Jones, Christopher Bell, William Byron, Bubba Wallace, John Hunter Nemechek, Corey Heim, and Daniel Suarez. 5 of those 7 are still in Toyotas. You talk about a legacy. He helped so many people out. And here's probably the greatest thing he came up with. He and Samantha were trying to have children, and they were not successful. They were having problems, and they had to go the in vitro route? IVF. They started, and both of their kids were conceived that way. There is the Samantha and Kyle Busch Bundle of Joy Fund. It's meant to help couples afford fertility treatments. They started it in 2015. There are over 100 kids that are directly came from help from the Bundle of Joy Fund. And there's people that are giving money to that. And I took a look at it this morning, and a bunch of them are $18.08. Just look it up. You'll find it. Just do a search of the Bundle of Joy Fund, and you can do the same thing. And it's a kind of a perfect way to honor the guy for everything.
And those are the things a lot of people don't know about, and it's unfortunate that it happens a lot when someone passes away. That's when you find out all the little things they did behind the scenes. People that thought they were the greatest person in the world, but they do all that type of stuff. And this is another situation where you're gonna see pour out all the stuff that he did behind the scenes that he didn't necessarily want the exposure for.
Right.
And that tells you something when they don't want. Sometimes people do things just for the notoriety or for the recognition. But people that are just doing it because they want to be nice or do something for the sport, they do it that way. That part of it has a clause on it. It says, you know what, I'm doing this for you, but don't tell nobody. I don't want to hear it out there. I think Earnhardt was kind of the same way, wasn't he, Dale Sr.?
Absolutely, yeah. Yep.
Yeah, very good, perfect. Daniel Suarez, when being interviewed this week after and weighing in on Kyle Busch, and you forgot that Suarez was given a great opportunity to drive for KBM. He said our sport has a way of making us feel invincible, that we can push through things like this, and you got to be smart. And it's not always the best thing to just push through it. Get it checked out. Perfect time for a break. We'll be back.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at wagnerautomotive.com.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
If speed is your love language, you need to be at Moto America Superbikes and Vintage Moto Fest, May 29th through the 31st. The fastest riders in the country, insane corner-to-corner battles, plus a full festival, live music, stunt shows, and a massive vintage bike scene. It's basically summer's first big party with Superbikes. Moto America and Vintage Moto Fest, May 29th through the 31st. Get tickets at roadamerica.com. Feel the rush.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
Welcome back to LTN. Kyle Busch had at least one Cup win per year for 19 years in a row. That's going to be hard to beat that record. Not impossible, but you talk about, again, the bar being set high. He had 2 sweeps in his career, both of them at Bristol. The truck race on Friday, the Xfinity or whatever they called it, on Saturday, and the Cup race on Sunday. He did it twice in 2010 and 2017.
And you see all these tributes that are out there from drivers and stuff. If you find Ryan Blaney's, go check that one out. He talks about Vegas Media Day after they went out partying the night before. Yeah. And Brian and I were there. We saw that live, right, Brian?
Yes, we did.
That was funny.
That was. He was a walking zombie that day, and all of a sudden, we turn and look, and he's crawling under a table, and kind of looks at us, and we kind of look at him. And we're like, "You're good, dude," And he's like, "All right," and that was it. He's like, "Oh, that must have been a rough one."
Funny when you think about it, but unapologetic is probably a good word to use with his style of racing. I like to think of him as having Tyson-esque aggression when he needed to. Didn't matter. He could race clean if he wanted to. He could take you up to the wall if he needed to. And what it really all equated to was winning. And it's just the fact that he was such a winner that people did not like him. Let's face facts. There were a lot. I mean, there's people that had Kyle Busch hats on, I suppose. But more than anything else, people wanted to see him lose just because he won so much. It was pretty amazing.
I think you see some guys that just have incredible natural talent, and it's hard to see it. And eventually, when you do see it, you kind of appreciate it. He was one of them. I think Kyle Larson is kind of that way, where just kind of whatever they get into, they can drive. as far as anybody else, I kind of think Hocevar is a little bit that way too. He's still coming around, but I mean, it's just guys that are just wheelmen that whatever they get into.
He's the heir apparent to the unapologetic description. Let's put it that way. And I thought about that. Hocevar, yeah, he's pretty good. Yeah, he's unapologetic and he's not afraid to put a fender and all that. He can't hold a candle to Kyle Busch. But we have to understand something. Kyle Busch being gone, he's the next one. He's the next closest thing to that sort of unapologetic, want him to lose kind of a mentality. Does our sport need that? You're damn right it does. So it's something just to keep in mind. The Hall of Fame was announced this week. Congratulations to Kevin Harvick and Jeff Burton and Larry Phillips. Those three guys had 2 days to enjoy and bask in the glow of being named to the Hall of Fame before they became yesterday's news when Kyle Busch passed away on Thursday. Unbelievable. And speaking of passing away, we didn't mention this last week. A legendary figure in the state of Wisconsin, John Cajun, passed away the week before. He owned Midwest Speedways, and he was the promoter for Hales Corner Speedway. Midwest Racing News was one of his babies. Dan, you worked over there, didn't you? Did you see that guy around very much?
Not a whole lot at the newspaper. I know he owned the place, and I saw him at the Hales Corners a lot because that was his track, and I spent a lot of time out there. That's where I first started getting to race weekly. I kind of progressed from there to the Slinger, but it was always at the dirt track at Hales Corners. You saw him there, and then once in a while he would come in. I did work at the newspaper on Mondays. I would, like a copy editor type thing, just rewrite press releases that had come in so the paper could get out on Tuesday. So I was only there 1 day a week. A couple times he would show up, but you think about it, I mean, he was kind of like Wayne Erickson was the Slinger here. That's what he was to Hales Corners. And guys like that, I mean, I wouldn't probably be doing this or be this into it if he didn't do what he did and have that racetrack.
Dan, and I'm being honest here, I don't really know what Wisconsin auto racing was. Weren't they the promoter at the Milwaukee Mile too? And wasn't that his gig too, or did I just miss the boat on that?
It might have been. I don't know 100% about that. I have to look that up now. I have to.
Yeah, I can't remember that. It seemed to me that was his gig too. And I know there's a lot of people screaming right now and going, yeah, you gotta. If you're not on one of the social medias, that's pretty much where you have to do it because we can't take calls. By the way, our engineer Matt Losey is in Indianapolis, being the big IndyCar fan that he is. He's down there for his other job, and we can't take calls this week of all weeks that do it. You probably didn't notice this, but there's a driver doing the Charlotte Indy double today, Catherine Legg. I wonder what the odds are for her to win either or both. Probably pretty high. Catherine is she starts in the back for the Cup race. I don't know, where did she qualify for the Indy 500?
27th. 27th, which is pretty good because she is not with one of the IndyCar teams that runs full time, and it's the RMD or CMD Racing something. It's one of the teams that runs Indy Lights program. Actually, their Indy Light program is very successful, or Indy Next they call it now. So Haley Deegan drove for them last year too. She
out-qualified 6 cars. Let's give her some positives.
Yes, which is really good.
No. The Indianapolis 500 is going to be on Fox. It starts at 11:45 our time. The weather forecast is temperatures in the 70s. Unfortunately, a 70% chance of precipitation. Then we have the Amazon Prime is where you can watch the Cup race from Charlotte, the World 600. Coca-Cola 600. The green flag is at 5:30 this afternoon. And but if you don't have Amazon Prime, you're kind of SOL. Temperatures are going to be in the 80s. Rain possibility is going to be 90%. So, again, we don't know how far they'll get into this thing. They may be finishing both races tomorrow. You just never know. Oddly, it's a streaming kind of a day. You need Apple TV to watch the Formula One race, which is going on pretty soon here. Of course, Fox has the Indianapolis 500. You need to have Prime to watch the Coca-Cola 600. And right down to Slinger Speedway tonight. You need Flow, and you can watch Slinger Speedway also. So it's quite the streaming kind of a day for sure. Again, like I said, it would have been nice to take calls about Kyle, but unfortunately we can't. We'll take a break, and we'll be back.
People, if elected, I promise to stand up for the little guy.
I don't know, man. The little guys are already doing pretty good on the dirt.
Let's go racing! Plymouth Dirt Track Racing! This Saturday, it's a special appearance by the Badger Midgets, plus 360 sprints, Grand Nationals, B-Mods, it's autograph night, and free checkered flags for the kids. Dirt flies at 5:30. Tickets $18 for adults and kids 11 and under free with paying adults. Check out PlymouthDTR.com. The Saturday night tradition, Plymouth Dirt Track Racing.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need, with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
Chimney Mechanics installs and services wood, natural gas, propane, pellet stoves, and chimneys. We service all of Wisconsin, the UP, and Northern Illinois. We repair all brands and all models of fireplaces, no matter where you bought it. We do custom chimney caps, liners, chimney fire repairs, water and stone work, water leak repairs, and replacement dampers. We do new construction and insurance work. No job is too big or too small. ChimneyMechanics.com. That's Chimney Mechanics with an X. Check us out on Facebook.
Last week, the great experiment, and they ran the All-Star race at Dover, Delaware. There were a lot of opinions that came across this week about what the whole event was like and what they thought of it. I really was disheartened. How's that for a word? Watching right from the beginning and having a couple of cars go out that really should have not gone out in a heat race for a race. They were already in the damn lineup. And, just come on, give me a break.
We were complaining that everybody was in it, and then by like lap 5, everybody was out of it. So I agree. I think it didn't feel like an all-star event to me from what I watched of it, and it kind of felt like it could have been just another points race. And like you said, when guys in the heat race are crashed out and they're locked into the final, well, they don't have a car to race in the final. And it's not like in 2001 when, rain made the whole field crash and let them bring backup cars out. They're not going to do that here. So you're kind of like, what do we do now?
Yeah, I think it just doesn't have the same pizzazz that it used to. Denny Hamlin won it, by the way, and just didn't. $1 million used to be a big deal. I guess it isn't as big as it used to be, huh?
No, and I was kind of surprised listening to a lot of the NASCAR, what we want to call them apologists, all week talking about it, and a lot of them also expressed the same consent that, it didn't feel like an all-star race. First of all, your race was in the middle of the day. All-star race, all-star events are usually evening lights, make it look spectacular. But we will say that the racing at Dover was actually really good. And if that would have been a normal points race and just a normal weekly event there that we have, yearly event at Dover, we'd have been really happy with it. And I think that's what NASCAR needs to do. And how they go about it and how they rotate the schedule to make it work, I don't know. But, first of all, they got to think to themselves, do you need to have 2 non-points events this season? Do you need to have the Clash? Do you need to have the All-Star race? Can you condense it into one? What do you want to do? And one of the things, I think it was Dale Earnhardt Jr. that said, he had talked to some of the hierarchy at NASCAR and said, the old Busch Clash or Bud Shootout or whatever you call it was always a big advertisement for Daytona. So now you have it at a short track, and you're not really advertising it for Daytona. What's the deal? And they said, well, if we have a bad race at Daytona, then people aren't going to want to come back. He goes, well, make sure you don't have a bad race, which is kind of funny to hear that coming out of Earnhardt. And the same thing with the All-Star race. It was supposed to celebrate the sport and celebrate your stars. He goes, what are you doing having everybody in it, and then your stars are out before the money's on the line? And they didn't really have an answer for that either. So NASCAR is in a predicament. They really don't know what to do with either one of these events. And
you remember those races weren't long races. I mean, the Busch Clash was a 15-minute deal.
Right.
That's all you watched it. And the All-Star, or the Winston, they called it back then, that was 10 laps or that was it.
It had a couple segments, and then the final was like a 10-lap one. Yeah.
Yeah. But it didn't take it wasn't like a 2-3 hour block for TV to sell advertising for. It was just maybe a 1 hour package.
Cars could pass each other, though, back in that time. And do we have cars that can pass each other at Dover on a 10-lap shootout?
No, probably not. But that's what Dover's for. And the reason behind the length of it is because when they resold the tickets to the Dover ticket holders, they told them they weren't going to lose any value to their ticket. So they had it. It's only, was it 50 laps or 25 laps less than a normal race, which is a 400-lap race there. Mm-hmm. And that's why they did it that way, to do that. So if you're trying to cover your ass, so to speak, to be able to sell these tickets to a venue that doesn't have any other event, that's not the way to do this either. So I don't know. They're going to have a lot of things to do. They were told Dover is going to have an event next year. They didn't say whether it was going to be the All-Star race or just a regular race event.
Or more than one.
No, just one. They're going to have an event next year. I mean, there was a lot of talk that if this failed, maybe Dover was going to go off the map. That was not what happened. They made the announcement last week that Dover is going to have a race next year. Didn't say whether it was going to be an All-Star race or just a regular race. Let's hope it's a regular race.
High-banked 1 mile concrete track is different. It's unique, and it's the racing. It can be very, very good if you got the right cars.
Yes.
Maybe we should just run them in North.
Plus, see, when they started this, the thing to win it was $200,000. That was a huge amount when it first started. Remember, we couldn't believe just to win this 10-lap race. And now it's up to $1 million. Okay, $1 million's a lot of money. But is it really? I mean, when everything else is, I don't think it needs something to set it apart again, where it's like, to win in that thing is going to have to be some kind of prestige behind it that you really want to go do it. Otherwise, drivers just treat it like another week.
Yeah, and we tried it at a short track. At North Wilkesboro for a couple of years, that made the pizzazz somewhat, but the racing was awful. And we'll see this year when you put a full field out at Wilkesboro. Hopefully, the cars can race too. But I don't know. I think the last thing I think they just got to go back to Charlotte again. And run it. The talk that Junior said is, you don't have to have it the full week before. Have it on the Wednesday or the Thursday night before the start, or take a big weekend out of it.
You know what? Maybe we should combine kind of elements of SRX in it and have it all in the same kind of cars for a 10-lap deal or something. Who cares if you beat them up?
IROC.
Right. Just for an event that way. That way they're all, I don't want to say they're throwaway cars, but they're cars that they're not your own teams and stuff. Everybody's in the same kind of car. It's 10 laps. Go race and for a ton of money.
And if that would actually take some of the load off of the teams too, having to have the car prepped.
Yeah, that's good. I just can't imagine why they need another break during the season the way it is. It's such a long grind. It wouldn't be the worst thing since it's not a points race anyway. Make it a Wednesday. It's perfect. Also, they talked about having midweek races for years. This would be the good place to start, don't you think? And secondly, I think both, not just the Busch, the All-Star race, but the Busch Clash is another one that would be a good one for a weeknight. Although, the way Daytona had it for years, it was part of Speed Weeks. It's why you spent your winter vacation in Daytona Beach, Florida. And maybe we just need to get back to some of the basic things that we.
That's also when we had multiple rounds of qualifying, multiple days of practice. All that stuff went away, and that's. I did hear the guys say they had a full, like an hour and a half practice at Dover before the All-Star race, and the teams absolutely loved it. They said you finally could get in there and work on these cars and do some stuff. So the movement is out there. I don't know if NASCAR will ever do it, but a lot of the crew chiefs were saying, the way this is set up now, having that the practice and being on pit road and not able to get your car on scales and actually work on it has really hurt them to be able to move forward with these cars. And I kind of agree with it. And maybe that's why some of the racing hasn't been that good. Everybody says,
why are we doing it?
What?
Why do we have this COVID mentality that the reason we can't practice is because COVID?
I don't know. And if you think about it, so many of these venues, we built the new garage areas and all that stuff so the fans could be in there, and they don't get to use it. I mean, one of the coolest things I saw both at Daytona and at Phoenix when they redid those things before COVID was being able to stand there as a fan and watch these guys work on the cars and see some of the ins and outs of it. And I think that the people at NASCAR completely forget that there's fans that actually are into that, and it really, hamstrings the teams. But they said that's the first time on a non-restrictor plate track other than Phoenix at the end of the year that they've been able to actually get in the garage area and work on these cars. And you take the all-star part of it away, some of the racing was actually really good on there. So, I mean, this is something I think NASCAR needs to think about. You got plenty of time on the weekend to do it. You give them an hour or an hour and a half and let them go in the garage area and do whatever they want to the cars. And let these guys work on these things, and maybe that'll help some of these, especially the younger drivers, too, get up to speed.
We're going to take a break, come back with some results. Hang in there with us.
Put some excitement into your Memorial Day weekend with short track racing and fireworks this Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway. It's the E.H. Wolf Memorial Day Special. See the stars and cars from the Slinger Super Late Models battling in an 85-lap race. Affordable family fun. Kids 8 and under get in free, and it's just $50 for a family of 5. Gates open at 4:30, racing at 6:30 p.m., and fireworks at dusk. This Sunday night at the Slinger Super Speedway. Rain date Monday night Memorial Day.
As a growing manufacturing company, we needed security solutions. We chose Bonafide because of the services they offer, pricing, and trusted reputation. But it's their outstanding service and support that convinced us we made the right choice with Bonafide.
When businesses need security, they contact Bonafide Security Solutions. From locks and alarms to safes and surveillance, we do it all. We are Bonafide. We protect what you value. For your free security survey, call us today or visit bonafidesafe.com.
The World of Outlaws Sprint Car Series is set for an action-packed weekend in Wisconsin. Saturday, June 6th, the stars of the sprint cars take on Plymouth Dirt Track with racing at 7:30. Then, Sunday, June 7th, the action continues at Angel Park Speedway for the Ted Johnson Memorial with racing starting at 6:30 p.m. Get your tickets now at slspromotions.com or call 815-344-2023.
Spring is in the air, and PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend has everything you need with fresh mulch arriving daily. From premium hardwood mulch to hemlock and pine bark to Enviro mulch in red, gold, chocolate brown, and black colors. PMF also has a large variety of decorative stone and granite, as well as field stone, topsoil, and compost. For all your landscaping needs, visit PMF Landscape Supply, 5470 River Road in West Bend. Call 262-338-8800 or visit pmflandscape.com. Friends of racing for many years. PMF Landscape Supply in West Bend.
And now the LTN Hour presents Dirt on the Dirt with Brian Schmidt.
One of the busiest racing weekends of the year across the dirt track world, but they've been battling a lot of weather all over the country. So we'll get in what they were able to get in. We'll start Tuesday night in Bechtelsville, Pennsylvania. The Grandview Speedway for the High Limit Sprint Car Series, $20,000 to win. Red Hot Aaron Reitzel continued his winning ways, picking up the $20,000 there. Wednesday night, Terre Haute, Indiana, the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Car Series, Tony Hulman Classic, one of their crown jewel events. Mitchell Moles grabbed the win there. Thursday night, Jacksonville, Illinois, they make up for a World of Outlaws race that was supposed to be in April. Carson Macedo grabbed the win down there. Also in Indianapolis, Indiana, Thursday night at the Circle City Raceway for the USAC Amsoil National Sprint Cars. Briggs Danner grabbed the win there. Friday night around here, Chilton, Gravity Park Speedway. In the LS Late Models, it was Mark Hopner. Modifieds, Jesse Cullen. Grand Nationals, Jake Richards. And the Stock Cars was Tyler Shrimp. Over at Luxembourg in the IMCA Modifieds, Russ Reinwald was your winner. The Stock Cars was Benji Lacrosse. Down in Davenport, Iowa, the Mars Dirt Car Series, $5,000 to win Super Late Model feature. Jason Fager grabbed his first win of the year. The Modifieds was Jed Furberger. Farmer City, Illinois, the UMP Late Models, Kyle Hammer was your winner. The Modified Furberger, yes. He wins a lot at Darlington. You hear his name often. Farmer City in the UMP Late Models, Kyle Hammer was your winner. The Modifieds was Mike Harrison. And Wheatland, Missouri, the Lucas Oil Speedway, the big Show Me 100. Thursday night's events rained out, so they ran two features Friday night with Jonathan Davenport getting the win in one of them. And Thursday night's makeup feature went to Josh Rice. They were supposed to run a $75,000 to win Show Me 100. last night. That rained out. They're going to try that again tonight at Wheatland. So while you're watching Slinger, you can also check that out. Last night, Francis Crick, the 141 Speedway. The IMCA Modifieds, Russ Reinwald won again. That's 2 for the weekend for him. Good weekend for him. IMCA Stock Cars, Nick Bakarma. Grand Nationals was Jake Richards. Shawano in the late models, Nick Andelink was your winner. IMCA Modifieds, Dylan Wallvogel. And the Stock Cars was Trent Nolan. Down at Wilmot, the IRA Sprint Cars, Will Armitage picked up the win in that one. The IRA Wingless Sprints went to Chris Klemko. Over at Rice Lake, the Wissota Modifieds, Kennedy Swan was your winner. Cedar Lake Speedway down in Richmond, Wisconsin, the USRA Limited Lates, that went to Larry Fitzsimmons. Spring Valley, Minnesota, the Deer Creek Speedway for the USMTS Modifieds, Jim Chisholm was your winner. Fairbury, Illinois, the Mars Dirt Car Series, $5,000 to win. That went to Ryan Unsticker, and the Modified was Michael Ledford. Anderson, Indiana, this is on the pavement, but these are dirt-type cars. The 78th Little 500 for the non-wing sprints. Cody Swanson was your winner. And last night, Knoxville, Iowa, the World of Outlaw NOS Enduring Sprint Car Series, $23,000 to win. Aaron Reitzel just continues his tear, winning races, picking up the feature win against the best of the best this weekend. And that is everything we have for this week.
On to the asphalt side of things. Last Sunday at Slinger, the Triple Crown #1 of 3 events. Super late model winner was Ty Majeski. The 602 Craters was John DeAngelis. Thursday at WIR, Wisconsin International Raceway, up in Kaukauna, the late model winner was Alex Stumpf. Super late model winner, Grant Griesbach. The ASA Stars Tour at Hickory Motor Speedway was also on Thursday night. The Tar Heel 250 winner was Caden Quapple, picking up his first super late model win. And
it was a Toby car, wasn't it?
It was a Toby car. Pretty dang impressive, actually, because Carson Brown had kind of been the class of the field. But Caden just out-snookered him on that restart. Friday, Madison International Speedway. The 602 late model feature winner was Bobby Wilberg. Big 8 late model winner was Michael Bilderback. Yesterday, Jefferson Speedway, the Midwest Tour was there. Super late model winner was Paulie Schaefer Jr. La Crosse Speedway, NASCAR late model feature winner Steve Carlson getting back into victory lane. Elko Speedway, late models in action up there. The winner was Colin Stalker. And then Dells Raceway Park, that was an event that went on and on and on. That was a late. Holy crap. Late model feature winner, though, was Michael Guderski. That was a hell of a battle. The CWRA Super Late Models, they did double features. Tyler Sauter picking up win #1, and Corey Jankowski taking the second win. Today, Slinger will have the 34th Annual E.H. Wolf Memorial Day event. Fireworks will be a part of the show. And then tomorrow, Golden Sand Speedway has their Super Late Model event, the Trickle 99, in honor of Memorial Day.
And we're going to go up to that one. Dan,
yes,
I, Todd, Marge, we're all going to be up there. So come one, come all. Come on out to Golden Sands and check out their event tomorrow. It's a good way to take your Memorial Day in. It's going to be really warm. It's going to be a lot like summer.
Oh, yeah. Toby will be there.
With?
Mondyke.
Oh, okay. Well, he had some problems yesterday, didn't he?
He did.
Was Toby at Jefferson?
Yes, he was.
He was. Okay. Well, that falls under shit happens right there. He just had a bad day.
There was a lot of shit happening at Jefferson last night.
Yeah.
A lot of cautions before they even got 20 laps in.
It was if you were lucky enough to make it through all the crappy racing to get to the good stuff. What's that, Dan?
So, but every time I hope Paulie Schaefer can win some more races because he gives a great victory lane interview. Every time I've seen a guy win, he's been a great interview.
It's like pure joy. That's you can't bottle that. That's pretty awesome.
He sure is a likable dude, isn't he?
He has.
I don't know anybody that doesn't like Paulie Schaefer, other than he's from Indiana. There's no positives to that.
Come on, Todd.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever you say. We'll come back and give some more thoughts on today's big day of racing in the U.S. of A. Actually, all around the world when we come back.
Miller Sales and Service of Random Lake is where to go for a trailer, no matter what you're hauling. Tom and Jerry Miller have been selling trailers from B&B, Trophy, and Bravo for over 50 years. Quality and integrity is what put them on the map on the corner of 57 and K since 1939. Home of the number 89 dirt and asphalt cars of Brad Miller. That's Miller Sales and Service. It's where to go for a trailer, just 20 minutes north of Milwaukee. Call them 920-994-4358.
From racing engines to street engines, long blocks to turnkey packages, or complete custom engines, just ask and Wagner Automotive can fill your needs. All backed by many years of racing experience. These years of experience have provided reliability and performance that customers need to win races. Wagner's has been building championship-winning engines for top teams from NASCAR to short tracks in your backyard. This expertise has carried over to street engines they supply to top custom car builders. The Wagner Company, in the heart of Wisconsin, is outfitted with the state-of-the-art machinery necessary to design, manufacture, build, and test custom engines and their accessory parts. Dyno services are independently available for anyone needed to test their engine. Wagner's Company can also provide you or your company with production CNC machining or welding services. All your questions and requests are handled personally by Casey Wagner. Just give us a call at 920-394-3557 or visit our website at WagnerAutomotive.com.
Put some excitement into your Memorial Day weekend with short track racing and fireworks this Sunday night at the Swinger Super Speedway. It's the E.H. Wolf Memorial Day Special. See the stars and cars from the Swinger Super Late Models battling in an 85-lap race. Affordable family fun. Kids 8 and under get in free, and it's just $50 for a family of 5. Gates open at 4:30, racing at 6:30 p.m., and fireworks at dusk this Sunday night at the Swinger Super Speedway. Rain date Monday night Memorial Day.
For those of you who may be watching the Craftsman Truck Series race, which is being shown live right now on FS1, I didn't realize this. I have the sound off naturally, and I see that they're racing against a clock. There's a little over 8 minutes to go in this race.
Yeah, there's a rule, adverse condition rule or something. They said that it's going to be at 11 o'clock our time. If the race is over by then, the next lap's going to be the white flag.
This race has just been a cluster with all the cautions.
Yeah, I haven't paid close attention. My guy here, I don't think he's going to win this, but there's a shot there. I'm taking Ross Chastain to win this thing in the last laps, and I'm also taking Ross Chastain to win the Coca-Cola 600 tonight and sweep the weekend just like Kyle Busch did twice at Bristol in his life. Probably not. But I'm sticking with Chastain for the 600. PJ, I'm going to write you in for number 12.
Thank you.
I had an odd feeling that might be. All right, Dan and Brian usually come up with some pretty good names here. Let's see what they got.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead,
Blaney's a good name.
Go ahead, Dan. You go first.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Can Kyle Larson go any longer without winning a race? He doesn't have a double to do. I keep thinking that, but I'm going to go with Tyler Reddick in the 45.
I wrote Kyle Larson down for you. Okay,
I know, but I was between the two, and I don't know. I mean, my head tells me that Kyle Larson can't go this long without winning a race. He's got to put something together soon. But then I tell me he would have done it by now. So 45's on a roll, so I'm going to go with 45.
Why do I feel like Brian's going to take the 5 car?
No, I'm not. No, because I've never picked Kyle Larson to win, and he's actually won. So I'm not going there. I'm gonna go with Carson Hocevar. They were really fast in practice. They had some good laps there, and that would be a pretty feel-good story for someone who I think is kind of trying to mirror what Kyle Busch does. So going with Carson Hocevar. I mean, you really want to go out, I would pick the 3 car, but they look god-awful in practice, so I can't go there.
I thought maybe the 11 might have a shot, too. I mean, they seem to be around every week and always there. 600 miles is tough, though. It's always, that extra 100 miles always seems to find things that go wrong or things happen. It's hard to put a whole perfect race together for 600 miles. Everybody's going to have problems at some point, and it's a team that adapts and rebounds from it the best that usually wins this thing.
I mean, there's the 10-lap averages. What's that?
Go ahead.
I said the 10-lap averages. It's kind of out there. You had Michael McDowell, Eric Jones, Austin Cindric, Riley Herbst, Connor Zilich, the top 5 in 10-lap averages. It was just something. Ed always liked to look at a lot, and that
absolutely.
just doesn't seem. Christopher Bell is the only name that pops off there. He was 6th in 10-lap averages, and then you go Josh Berry, then you got Denny Hamlin, Brad Kay, Chase Briscoe, Noah Gragson, Shane Van Gisbergen. I mean, the names are kind of like, really? But I don't know. It's gonna be weird. It's gonna be a strange race.
Yeah.
I think this whole weekend has been strange and weird for obvious reasons, but I just think that kind of lends itself to all of the unexpectedness.
It took Kevin Harvick 2 races, if I remember right, to win in Earnhardt's car for Childress. I'm going to go way out on a limb and say it's going to be harder for Austin Hill to win in the same car that Kyle Busch drove. Yeah, Hill starts 13th today based on the qualifying metric that was used coming off the road course. By the way, Kyle Busch was top 10, like 8th or something on the road course there, wasn't he?
You talk about weird. Did look up at your TV screen at the truck race? They got a clock for this. When was the last time you saw a truck race that was under a time limit? I mean, usually this time of day on Memorial Day weekend, we're looking at a clock because it's the end of Monaco. But now the truck race is in a time.
And they're doing that, I am guessing, just because of weather issues.
Yeah, and they got
to clear the grandstand too because it's sold out 600 today.
Yeah, that's the last thing they should need to worry about. I would have given them, for the fans that have sat through all the bullshit going on with the weather at Charlotte, they should have just let them stay there for the 600. If you're going to stick around all day, the race isn't going to start till 5:30 anyway.
It's sold out though. That's the problem. Yeah. So this Coke 600 is sold out. So if for some reason you're a person that doesn't have a 600 ticket and you're in there, you got to get out.
Yeah, I mean, otherwise you'd be in somebody else's seat.
Isn't that rare? That 600.
I'd just hide in the bathroom.
Yeah,
I think that's why it's going to take them 4 hours to clear the place out because, you got to get everybody out of there.
I'd crouch on a toilet for 4 hours.
I was I wanted a shirt that said I am a dickhead race fan, but I'm thinking this guy, I am definitely a Furburger fan. Where is this guy from, Brian? That races?
I think he's down from like the Freeport, Illinois area. It's Eric Hienefeld's country. He announces him a lot down there.
How do you like your Furburger?
How do you like your Furburger? Well,
no, more than likely I'm pronouncing it wrong. Dan, if you see Eric tonight, ask him how I'm supposed to pronounce that name.
I'll have to do that. I saw him last night at Jefferson, and I'll see him tonight at Slinger. I'll have to seek him out, and I'll get that information for you.
Yeah, do that.
Firing minds want to know.
Yeah, we do. And I don't want it to change either. Let's leave it. I don't
now
give
that
a
makes
shit how we're
2
supposed to say it.
T-shirts I need to get my hands on.
See, you never knew I was a Furburger fan. Well, I am.
Start a T-shirt company and sell them as a package.
I think I'm going.
There you go. Would you like a Dickhead Racing shirt or a Furburger shirt?
Oh, we got another wreck. Is this race going to end under caution, or are they going to let them do a green-white checker?
This is all they got left. I think so. And speaking of winding down, we're on our way out here. We appreciate everybody tuning in today, and this is the type of thing that kind of, as bad as it is, it kind of makes everybody stop and pause and appreciate our sport and what it takes to win and what it means to be an icon of this sport. You don't win 234 races and not be considered, if not the greatest ever, certainly in the conversation. Certainly belongs on the Mount Rushmore of NASCAR with that kind of background. And all the drivers that he has helped over the years and all the drivers that he has pushed to try and beat him and made them better in the process. It's absolutely incredible. But we'll leave you with our famous real race cars have doors, even if they do climb in through the windows. Let's Talk NASCAR is produced and directed by Dangerous Dan Margetta, our in-house engineer, king of the knobs, an all-around good guy. And this weekend, from his place in Indianapolis, Indiana, Matt Losey. For all of us involved with the program, thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you next week.
This program has come to you live from multiple locations. Any and all comments expressed on this show do not necessarily express the opinions of this station, its employees, or advertisers. Your comments are always welcome at mail@ltnradionetwork.com. find us at facebook.com/LTN Radio Network. And thank you for your support since 1985. Tune in again next Sunday morning at 10 a.m. Central Time for the LTN Hour on the LTN Radio Network.